When I first moved to the United States, I thought I knew what to expect. After all, I'd seen the movies, watched the TV shows, and even visited a few times as a tourist. But living here? That's a completely different story. Today, I'm sharing the biggest surprises and culture shocks I experienced as a European moving to America. Some funny, some frustrating, and some that truly changed the way I see the world. Let's start with the obvious. Everything is bigger. And I mean everything. The cars, the roads, the supermarkets, the portions at restaurants, even the coffee cups are supersized. I remember my first trip to a grocery store. The cereal aisle alone was the size of a small shop back home. There were 20 different types of milk, 100 varieties of bread, and entire shelves dedicated to just peanut butter. It was overwhelming and a little bit exciting at the same time. Speaking of food, the portion sizes were a huge shock. In Europe, meals are usually smaller and more balanced. Here, even a small meal could feed 2 people. The first time I ordered a sandwich at a deli, I thought they'd made a mistake. It was massive. And don't get me started on free refills. The idea that you can get unlimited soda or coffee just by asking, that felt like a superpower. Another surprise was how friendly people are, at least on the surface. In Europe, people can be reserved, especially in big cities. In the US, strangers greet you, chat in elevators, and ask how you're doing, even if they don't actually want an answer. At first, I thought everyone was just being polite, but over time, I realized it's part of the culture. Small talk is a way of life here, and it's actually pretty nice once you get used to it. But not all surprises were positive. One of the biggest shocks was the cost of healthcare. Back home, I was used to affordable or even free medical care. In the US, a simple doctor's visit can cost hundreds of dollars. Health insurance is complicated, expensive, and doesn't always cover everything. The first time I saw a medical bill, I honestly thought it was a mistake. If you're moving here, make sure you research your insurance options before you arrive. Tipping is another thing that took me a while to get used to. In Europe, tipping is optional and usually small. In the US, it's expected. 20% at restaurants, a few dollars for the barista, even your hairdresser or taxi driver. I was always worried I'd get it wrong or offend someone. Eventually, I just started carrying extra cash for tips wherever I went. Let's talk about transportation. In many European cities, public transport is the norm. Here, outside of a few big cities, you really need a car. Distances are huge and public transport can be limited or unreliable. I had to learn to drive everywhere, even just to buy groceries. And parking? Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's outrageously expensive, and sometimes you circle the block for half an hour looking for a spot. One of the most unexpected culture shocks was how optimistic Americans are. There's a real belief here that anything is possible if you work hard enough. People talk about their dreams and ambitions openly, and there's a sense of positivity that's contagious. It made me look at my own goals in a new way. But I also noticed that work culture is intense. Americans take fewer holidays, work longer hours, and often check emails after hours. In Europe, people value their time off and work-life balance. Here, there's more of a hustle mentality. It took me a while to set boundaries and not feel guilty for taking a break. Patriotism is everywhere. You see American flags on houses, cars, and even clothing. National holidays like the 4th of July are huge celebrations, with fireworks, parades, and barbecues. People are proud to be American, and they show it in ways I'd never seen before. Another big surprise? Diversity. The US is a true melting pot. I met people from every corner of the world, heard dozens of languages, and tried foods I'd never even heard of before. It's one of the best things about living here. You're constantly exposed to new cultures, ideas, and perspectives. But with that diversity comes some challenges. I had to learn to navigate different social norms, accents, and even humor. What's funny in one culture might not be in another. I embarrassed myself more than once with a joke that didn't land or a misunderstanding about personal space. Shopping hours were another shock. In Europe, most shops close early and many are closed on Sundays. In the US, you can shop late into the night and some stores are open 24/7. The convenience is amazing, but it took me a while to stop feeling guilty for running errands after dinner. And then there's the weather. Depending on where you live, you can experience everything from hurricanes to tornadoes to blizzards. I had to learn about things like tornado drills, hurricane shutters, and snow days. The climate is as extreme as the country itself. One of the best surprises was how welcoming communities can be. Neighbors introduce themselves, invite you to barbecues, and help you settle in. I joined local groups, volunteered, and quickly made friends. If you put yourself out there, people respond. But I also learned that making deep friendships takes time. Americans are friendly, but building real connections can take a while. Don't be discouraged if it feels superficial at first. Keep showing up, and you'll find your people. Holidays and traditions are a big deal here. Halloween is celebrated with costumes and decorations everywhere. Thanksgiving is all about food and family, and even Valentine's Day is a major event. I loved experiencing these traditions for the first time, even if I didn't always know what I was doing. Sports are another huge part of American life. Football, basketball, baseball, people are passionate, and the community spirit is incredible. I went to my first football game and was amazed by the energy and excitement, even if I didn't understand all the rules. Finally, I was surprised by how much I changed. Living in the US pushed me out of my comfort zone, challenged my assumptions, and made me more open-minded. I learned to appreciate the differences, laugh at my mistakes, and find joy in the unexpected. So, what surprised me most about living in the US? Honestly, it's how much I grew, not just as a newcomer, but as a person. The culture shocks are real, but so are the opportunities. If you're moving here, my advice is be curious, be patient, and embrace the adventure. You'll be surprised at what you discover about America and about yourself. If you have your own culture shock stories or questions about moving to the US, drop them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more real-life tips and stories about starting your American journey. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching. We hope you found this video helpful as you prepare for your move to the United States. If you found value in the information and advice provided, please consider supporting the podcast on Patreon. Your donations will allow us to continue creating new episodes and videos to help even more people with their relocation to America. Just visit patreon.com/movingtotheus to sign up. Until next time, best of luck with your move.